welcome back to another video. And if you're new to our channel, I'm Andrea.
I'm Alejo.
Hakuna Matata. It means no worries.
Today we're going to be talking about the cost of hauling out our boat. So we have been living in our sailboat, Hakuna, for the past 2 years, and it was long overdue to do the maintenance of this boat.
Yes. When we started living on the boat, we wanted to do everything. We wanted to polish. We wanted to keep the boat like brand new. And we came to see that we were working on the boat most of the time. So we said like, no, let's stop, let's enjoy the boat, and then after a year or 2 years we'll just fix everything that broke and then we'll keep going.
So just to go back to the actual question, so how much did we spend at the boatyard this past couple of weeks that we hauled out our boat? And the answer is about almost $10,000. So how on earth do we spend $10,000 on a boatyard, on our boat, just in 10 days?
Let's start with hauling out the boat, taking it out of the water, putting it in the blocks, which is the little wooden things that they put below the boat, and just paying for storage for the boatyard.
That was $816, and we were there for 10 days. The boatyard actually gave us 1 week for free.
They do 5 days for free.
Oh, 5 days for free, and then we started paying.
Yes.
But that includes the haul out, the pressure wash, and the 10 days that we were at the boatyard, right?
Plus, they charged us $200 for doing the holes on the ground for the rudders.
For the rudders.
So that was like $100 for starboard side, $100 for port side. That's included in the $800.
So the second cost is that, as you guys know, we had to bring down our entire paint down to gel coat. So the reason for that is because we had layers of, so this boat is a 2008 Lagoon, right? So that means that it has been 13 years since the boat was built. So that means that it had been painted over the gel coat. The next 13 years, like every 2 years, someone had just painted another coat on top of the primer. So they had never taken it down to the gel coat. What happened to us the last 2 years is that the coats, the layers of paint were actually coming off all the way, some parts all the way down to the gel coat, other parts just down to the primer, and other parts just the first coat of paint. It had a lot of work, first of all, a lot of work to do on the boat. Second of all, we did not want to do the sanding by ourselves. We didn't want to do the painting either. So we ended up hiring Martin to do the removal of the paint and to just do the paint job.
And the sand.
And the sanding.
So we hired Martin to do a lot of jobs for us, which was the start. First, he scraped down all the paint down to a gel coat. Then he sanded the holes. He painted 2 layers of epoxy primer, then did 2 layers of anti-foley,
yep,
and a 3rd layer on the waterline. Then he removed the old waterline strip, which
yep,
was blue. They did a new one,
yep,
gray one.
So up to what Alejo just said, Martin charged us $2,450. On top of that, we had to pay for the cost of the actual paint, which was every little gallon is about ranges from $300 to $400. And in total, we did 5 gallons of paint. That includes the one that was dropped. Babe, what happened?
We just wasted $300.
Why?
One of our paint cans, I was going up the ladder with the paint can and the thing slipped. And for me to be able to grab from here, I dropped the cane pan. I like jumped.
$300 right there. 5 paints was a total of $2,210.
That's including the primer and the anti-fog.
Right.
Yes.
So everything in total for what Martin needed to just do the work.
Yes.
Right? So then on top of that, we had to do all the engine work, which included that we had to remove the cone clutch. Alejo did all of the work himself, but then he had to take the cone clutch to someone else to do exactly what?
Yes, to do the lapping. The lapping means they put like a paste on the cone, they'll do the lap and they change any parts that are weird. And that's why I didn't have the tools to take that apart, so we took it somewhere and they did it for us, and that was $500 for the tool.
$540 to be more specific. So then on top of that, we had 2 unexpected surprises, and that is very common to happen when you haul out your boat. You have not seen the bottom, you have not seen what has really happened. And the first surprise was that one of our propellers was broken.
Yes. It was broken because here Miss Captain
Wait, was it me?
broke it.
No, I didn't.
Oh yes, you did.
When?
In the Bahamas.
But what did I do?
You put it in reverse and the dinghy line was in the water.
Oh, why didn't you check the dinghy line?
I don't know, I wasn't driving.
So yeah, so things happen, you know, you learn it. The dinghy line got caught up in the propeller and it was like too much tension and pressure in the propeller, so the thing inside the propeller breaking. Because we had already spent a lot of like money and everything, we tried to like ask them to fix it. Like, believe me, we were trying to do just the bare minimum for the boat because we didn't want to, like, when we first started this project, our budget was $5,000.
Yeah.
And we obviously went way overboard, and honestly we were just trying to keep it to the minimum, like the basics of what the boat we felt needed, but nothing like no upgrades, nothing like out of this world.
Yeah.
Propeller, they couldn't fix the propeller that we had because there's not a solution to it, so we had to buy a new propeller. Just buying the same one was another $500.
Horrible.
Yeah, that hurt.
Then the other surprise was the rudders. The bearing on the rudders were loose. They came down, they weren't sticking to the boat. So we had to drop down the rudders, and Dane did the work and he charged a total of
Another $500.
another 500.
Boat, break out another 1,000.
If you leave those things like that, they're gonna damage the rudders, it's gonna damage your boat, it's gonna damage more the bearings, it can damage another part on your boat. So
before we keep going with the next cost, let's go on to the polishing. So before ceramic coating, we have to polish the boat because right now the boat has a lot of oxidation. Well, not right now, but it had a lot of oxidation. So why do we have to do polishing? Like, why is that important or essential?
on the boat,
Yeah.
because the gel coat will start to go bad, and then all the gel coat can just fall off the boat, and then you have to repaint the whole boat. So that sucks.
So that's when we hired Martin and his crew to do the polishing. The polishing of the holes and under the holes was $300. $350 was $350.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad at all. Like, it was actually a lot of work, yeah. But then we bought the ceramic coating so that we would do the ceramic coating. So what is ceramic coating for people that don't know what ceramic coating is?
Coating. It's a liquid that you put on top after you polish and you take out all the stains. It's like a liquid that you put over, like, it creates a little layer of like ceramic, and it leaves the boat super shiny, and that will last around 2 years on your hulls and boat, and you could do it on the showers. It's regularly used on cars, and you could see, just go online and put ceramic coat on cars, and it's incredible product.
So for the ceramic coating, we paid $1,900. Now, the ceramic coating, we did get partially sponsored by Stark. We are going to blog the entire process eventually. So now, obviously, whenever you're doing any kind of work, there's some extras, just like from tape and
sanding paper, brushes, things like that.
right, tools that you need in order to complete the other big jobs. And then the last cost, which still is not part of the actual boat, but we still added to the cost of hauling out, was the cost of renting an apartment to stay while we were doing all of the boatyard work. Why do we do that? Because Grenada gets about to be like 100 degrees Fahrenheit every single day. It is miserably hot, and as you guys know, we care a lot about just our dogs, and we worry about them because they're super like they're super hairy, and we don't want them to just be like in a boatyard suffering with the heat. So obviously we chose to bring them in this lifestyle. It's our responsibility to make sure that we don't make them go through bad situations, right? So we try to make it as comfortable as possible. We paid for each night, we paid $60, and the total cost of staying those, I don't know if it was 9 or 10 nights, was $570. After adding up all the cost of the haul out, just to stay, everything, the work that was done in the boat, it adds up to $10,196. Now, could we have avoid any of the costs that we incurred on?
So I think yes, there's things that we could have just skipped, like not like taking down the paint to a gel coat, or using a different paint, a cheaper paint, or just not hiring anyone and do the job ourselves. But in the end, it's a lot of work. It's very hard work. The paint is toxic. If
we would have just done all the work ourselves, we would not have been able to do this in 10 days because of how much work it was. So it would have still taken us like at least double the time, like easily. So 2 weeks for sure at least, which means more money for the boatyard, more money in the apartment that we were paying, and more miserable time, because personally, maybe other people like it, but I did not like being at the boatyard. It was very hot, it was a lot of mosquitoes, it was a lot of work. Yeah, it was a rough couple of days for sure. And plus, you know, just by us doing work at the boatyard, we're stopping the work that earns us more money, which is working on our business and working on other stuff that actually earns us more money. So then you like put it in a balance, on a scale, then you realize like, okay, it's better to just, it makes sense for us to hire someone out to do certain jobs. The other question would be, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Would you do it again if you could go back in time? I think it was worth it for us. Like, we did notice that when we went sailing again and we moved the boat, we gained a knot on like the paint. On speed. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's worth it. And also for like, we don't haul out every year, and just to haul out, like, it's $800. So you don't want to just have to haul out just to do one simple thing, like do the seals on your sail drives. Might as well just, when you do the haul out, try to do everything while you're on the hard that you could just do. And yeah, that's why we decided just to do everything, right? The rudders, sail drives, cone clutch, everything at once. And now everything, like, it gives us also a peace of mind that the boat's perfect. We could go anywhere, nothing's gonna break.
So even though $10,000 is a lot of money, it is for us, at least, because, you know, everything's relative. If you have 10 million sitting in the bank, maybe $10,000 is not a lot for you, but for us, $10,000 is definitely a lot of money. When we take that into consideration and we look at the fact that we didn't haul out last year, the fact that we have to, the longer we wait to do the paint, the bottom paint, we have to be scrubbing a lot more often. We have to just be underwater just scrubbing the boat. So that's why we thought it was best to just kind of like take a little bit of a proactive approach and do something that is going to hopefully make the paint last longer, and hopefully have maybe 2 full years of not hauling out, maybe hopefully a little bit more. Yeah, we're crossing our fingers, maybe a little bit more, because we really, like we said, we don't really enjoy the haul out process. It is a lot of work, but the boat did come out beautiful, that is for sure. Like, we did notice a huge change. The boat, like, you know, you put that money in and the boat, you're gonna notice a change. Exactly. And we saw that with the engines, we saw that just how the boat looks around. So the boat is very grateful or appreciative of us like putting that money in it, and at the end of the day, it is our home. So we want to make sure that we are in a nice air space, that it is pretty, that it is comfortable, that it looks good.
And you guys pay taxes for your houses, which is like $20,000, or it depends the taxes on your house. We don't pay taxes every year on the boat, so we just pay for the haul out and the maintenance.
Right.
So that's how I see it. That's how you see it?
No, that's not how I see it. I just see like a lot of money. Hope this video was helpful for you guys. Let us know if you have any questions on the comment section, and let us know if you want us to do a video of our monthly cost of living on the boat. So not just the haul out, but the actual monthly cost of, you know, food, insurance, and gas, and all the other stuff that
That includes
That
cruising.
includes cruising, full-time cruising.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.